Hello and welcome to the Street Crime UK YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Today we look at 6 men who were found guilty of a series of attempted murders against the Daniel clan. The gangster Stephen Bonzo Daniel, 39, was left with horrifying wounds after a failed murder bid from a rival Glasgow crime clan who were left him butchered. After the guilty verdicts, Judge Lord Frank Mulholland told the thugs Stephen Daniel will be reminded of what happened every time he looks in the mirror. His family will be reminded when they look at him. You might be pleased with your work, but you have nothing to be pleased about. Be under no illusion what will come your way when you return to court. A high-speed chase near the M8 led to a brutal assault that left Daniel's face hanging off. Multiple scars can be seen across both his cheeks and around his eyes and nose. Daniel's scar-riddled face has been left misshapen by the attacks from a group said to be part of the Lyon's crime mob, longtime enemies of the Daniel clan in the north of the city. Brian Ferguson, 37, Andrew Galasher, 40, Robert Pickett, 53, Andrew Sinclair, 32, John Hardy, 35, and Peter Bryan, 45, were convicted of a series of murder bids on members of the Daniel clan. A spree of violent attacks exploded in December of 2016, escalating after the school shooting of Ross Monaghan, once cleared of murdering Daniel clan enforcer Kevin Gerbil Carroll. 5 men were ambushed in a series of hits over a 15-month period, with former taxi firm boss Daniel being the main target. A tracker, the first type of its kind used in Scotland, was stuck on the Skoda Octavia, allowing the gang to trace him in the Milton area of the city. A Volkswagen Golf deliberately rammed the 39-year-old's vehicle before an Audi S3 rolled up and Daniel went at breakneck speed to get away. Mr. Daniel was estimated to be doing about 100 miles per hour as he was chased towards the M8 and even planned to drive down the wrong side of the motorway to try and escape. But his Skoda was again ploughed into at the M8 on ramp at the city's Port Dundas. Mr. Daniel said, "It was presumably the Audi, then I just passed out. I remember skidding towards a pole at the foot of the road." Mr. Daniel claimed he could not remember being attacked, but prosecutors said he was struck with a cleaver, hammer or other bladed weapons. Mr. Daniel remained in hospital for several weeks to try and repair massive wounds to his face. The 6 individuals who attacked Mr. Daniel were found guilty of a charge of conspiracy to murder. Lord Mulholland told them the courts take a dim view on such gangsters' conduct. The judge added, "You sought to turn Glasgow into a war zone with your feud." He said any suggestions of a private dispute could not be further from the truth. The mob was remanded in custody pending sentencing. The Lyons and Daniel clans have reportedly been in a long-running tit-for-tat feud stretching back almost 20 years. But Mr. Daniel insisted he had no enemies before the attack and said there was no dispute with the Lyons. The trial took place amid tightened security, with police providing a ring of steel each day around the building. Armed officers also patrolled outside the courtroom. The 6 on trial were said to be linked to the Lyons, with the targets associated with the Daniel mob. This part of the charge was later removed. A crucial prosecution witness was Supergrass and former footballer Alistair McMillan, a former associate of Mr. Daniel, who told jurors of being offered £50,000 to help in the ex-taxi boss murder. Mr. McMillan, 43, said he secretly met 3 men at a house in Renfrewshire who wanted Mr. Daniel murdered. After the verdicts, it was revealed all 6 had a criminal past, but only Mr. Ferguson had never been in jail before. Prosecutors have also moved for serious crime prevention orders to be slapped on all 6. None of the crew members showed any emotion as they were led to their cells. Later, cops found a tracking device on Mr. Daniel's Skoda taxi, which provided vital in cracking the murderous conspiracy. The rival gang who attacked Stephen Bonzo Daniel with a machete and a meat cleaver during a 100-mile-per-hour chase were undone by their audacious use of high-tech spy equipment. 6 members of the Lyons gang were found guilty of a terrifying murder conspiracy across the city, which included the failed attempt on Mr. Daniel, which one insider revealed it was their use of stalking technology that brought them down. The men were all found guilty after a 14-week trial that cost the taxpayers £6 million. Speaking after the trial, one insider said, "The Lyons plot was brought down by the technology they used to stalk their prey. But it came back to bite them in the worst way possible. Cops were able to use the technology to link the attackers to the targets." Mr. Daniel, 39, told the trial at High Court in Glasgow he put the foot down to flee the mob as he drove home in May 2017. The former taxi firm boss had watched Rangers play Aberdeen at the Ibrox with cab chief Stephen Malcolm on the night he was attacked. After dropping off Mr. Malcolm, 55, Mr. Daniel was near his home in Milton when he realised his Skoda Octavia was being trailed by an Audi S3 and a Volkswagen Golf. Mr. Daniel, who now drives an armoured car, was chased through Possil and onto a road near the M8 at Port Dundas where he was rammed. The frenzied blade attack that followed left him disfigured for life. As well as Stephen Bonzo Daniel, nephew of late crime lord Jamie Daniel, Ryan Fitzsimmons 34, Gary Petty 22, Thomas Bilsland 31 and Robert Daniel 29 were all attacked in or near their motors. But trackers seized from their cars had stored their every move. That allowed police to link 6 members of the Lyon's clan to a spate of brutal attacks on the Daniel mob, part of a bitter turf war sparked by a spat over a drug deal. As the feud escalated with a string of brazen shootings and savage tit-for-tat assaults, Lyon's hoods began using their trackers to watch their rivals' every move. This would allow them to pick the perfect moment to attack. The GPS trackers sent signals to their burner phones, logging their target's exact location down to the second. Trackers could also reveal the exact speed at which the car is being attached to was travelling. The Lyon's thugs spent a fortune on gear for covert surveillance, but their scheme was eventually foiled by that technology. An insider added, each tracker would send an SOS signal when its battery was running low. This would mean someone would need to switch it for a tracker with a full battery. That's when it started to go wrong. The trial heard that on days when tracker batteries ran low, the Lyon's gangsters' mobile phones would ping at masts near locations significant to their victims. Source added the phone evidence and tracker battery lives allowed cops to build a bigger picture and make a clear link between the attackers and the victims, were convicted of the murder plot. They have finally snared thanks to a major police investigation called Operation Engagement. The 6 men were convicted of a series of attempted murders on members of the Daniel clan. Members of the Lyon's clan made jokes, "I heard he can't see," in WhatsApp chats after they stabbed Stephen Bonzo Daniel in a frenzied murder bid. Jurors at the gang trial heard how their jibes were made following the vicious machete attack in May of 2017. One message read, "You happy the day, mate?" To which reply was, "Love it, mate. Heard he can't see." The text included a laughing emoji. Supermarket worker Ryan Fitzsimmons was one of the other 4 assaulted, a woefully innocent man caught up in the violence. A member of the Lyon's family told police how Andrew Sinclair boasted of the attack days after Ryan was hurt. Mr. Sinclair was said to have told Declan Lyon's 20 he had earlier done a cunt. The pair also had a chat in Mr. Sinclair's BMW after the hit on Stephen Bonzo Daniel. Mr. Lyon's told officers he picked up a thing in his gloved hand. It was a wee black rectangular box. He told me the thing was a tracker. Jurors earlier heard how the first target had been Robert Daniel, previously jailed for helping an attack on a gran outside a pub in 2012. The 29-year-old was chased into a house in the city's Rob Royston after his car was rammed. Robert Daniel was then struck over the head with a machete or hatchet. So what are your thoughts about Stephen Bonzo Daniel and how a rival Lyon's clan of 6 men went on to brutally assault and kill members of the Daniel clan? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, stay safe.